Welcome to another edition of TM3 Impact. I am super excited. From the moment I got to meet this amazing team, I was ready to have them on the podcast. Today, I have Amy and Erin with Elbow Room. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Well, here we go. We're going to dive right in because I want to know, tell me your San Antonio story. Y'all can decide who gets to go first. How did you come to live in this amazing city?
Well, we moved here in 1988, and I was 10 and you were...
7.
Okay. And our dad got a new job. So we just followed
From
the
where?
job. From Dallas. Well, actually from Duncanville.
I know Duncanville.
You know, it's
Of
where
course.
everybody, they're killing it, all the sports and everything.
Yes.
We were going to be Panthers and we switched allegiances.
Yes. And so we moved to San Antonio so that was around elementary.
It was
Yeah,
right after
we were
the
pretty
big
little.
storm.
Yeah.
There was that big, back when it didn't snow in Texas.
85? Around that time?
I think it was, 87 is when
87?
they had
Okay,
it.
yeah.
So we moved right at the new year, right in the middle of the school year.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we
Excellent.
both kind of came back. we moved
Yeah.
away and came back after college.
Yes. So tell me about, what do you remember most about growing up in this amazing city?
Well, we grew up in Hollywood Park. So it was back in the days of freedom when we took scooters and bought nachos for $1 and candy. And
I'll tell you this. Amy wanted to have her 6-year-old birthday party at the Alamo.
I did.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yes.
In the basement, right, with Pee Wee Herman.
Oh,
Right
for
after
sure.
you got to have it there.
Yeah. And when I was in high school, my parents had this funny thing and they called it the wedge. I was not allowed to go west of I-10, north of 1604, south of 410, or east of 281. I mean, kind of,
Yeah.
here and there. So it was this very limited space, but I was allowed to go downtown. So as long as I parked in the River Center Mall parking
garage.
lot,
Yeah.
I could go downtown, just hang out. And to this
Yeah.
day, I love the Riverwalk. I think it's the most amazing thing about our city.
Yeah, you had so much fun in high school. You ruined it for me.
Is that what it was, Amy? Yeah.
Maybe.
I got a few more rules.
It typically goes the opposite way. Usually when you're younger, you don't get as many rules. Typically that goes the opposite way. You had a lot of fun in high school.
I was kind of a goody two shoes.
Okay. Yeah.
Amy just always told our parents what she was going to do. So it wasn't like she was breaking a
there you
rule at
go.
all,
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I
They
get
were,
that.
I think, over it by the time.
Yeah, they're real over it.
So now, obviously, I cannot wait to talk about what you guys started, right? You're, two sisters come together. You create this company called Elbow Room.
Yes.
And from the moment that we talked, I was just like, when I heard, actually, no, I got to back up because we were introduced by Linda Rudd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Linda Rudd introduced us. And so from the moment she started talking, I said, I have to meet them. You have to set this up. And so we did, and we got a chance to meet. And I've been talking to Christina about it. I've been telling other people about it. You guys got to come to our party up in
Yes,
Austin.
that
That was
So
a really
fun.
great time. Thank
So
you.
cool that you got to
Thank
come.
you.
So tell me just what is the origin story, long version? How did Elbow Room? Well, first of all, tell everybody what it is and then how it started.
Okay, so Elbow Room builds ADUs, micro houses, backyard offices, backyard pods, studios, studio sheds, that kind of, basically it's a flexible living space.
Flexible living spaces. Love it.
Yeah, and they're small. They're all 800 square feet or less.
Okay, perfect. And then how did it come to be? Tell me that story. How did you get to this point?
Well, really, Erin started it with her husband, Pat. They were flipping houses. And then when the pandemic hit, they kind of paused on buying more real estate, buying more properties. And they were regrouping. And Erin and I just lived down the street from each other. And so we were quote unquote homeschooling our kids.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, during the crazy time.
Yeah. So we had 4 kids between us, and you were losing your mind. And you asked Pat to build you a little tiny, kind of like a she shed in the backyard, so you could have all your art.
Oh,
and all
see, you
your
didn't tell
stuff.
me this part. I didn't remember this part. I missed this.
Oh, yeah. It was
Yeah.
hand built in our backyard. And I just
Okay.
kept telling them, because I had all this art stuff around. I was taking a construction class when I was in the construction school at UTSA.
Okay.
long story, something about health insurance. And then I was like, I'm going to be an art major. I don't know. It's just, I went back for a second degree.
Okay.
Sort of for all these odd reasons. But long story short, all this chalk and charcoal and all this mess all around with 4 little kids just all up in it. And then here's Pat and I trying to figure out what we're going to do. We're closing up some real estate stuff that we had. So it's literally, we're officing, we're working, we're educating all in one little space.
Yeah.
And I think Pat was going to lose his mind because of all the charcoal everywhere.
Yeah.
And all the kids stuff. And I said, well, fine, go ahead. Build me a little she shed in the backyard.
Okay.
And he took it like challenge accepted. Let's go.
And how long did it take him to build?
3 or 4 months.
Okay.
Because he did it by hand during the pandemic. So he'd go, he would go to Home Depot or Lowe's and
you kept upping the ante. You were like, oh, now I need air conditioning.
Yeah.
And
drywall.
yeah. And
of course.
And then a feature wall.
Oh yeah. I wanted the feature wall. Big
A
time.
who wall?
A feature wall. So it's like, when you kind of like how you have over there in your office, where all like a cool little something to draw
like
your eye to it.
or
Oh, okay, like a design, like a designer touch. Got it.
I was all about that.
Love it.
And once we really got going, we decided what we were going to do. We named, initially the name was Some Elbow Room.
Oh, Some Elbow Room. Okay.
But now it's Elbow Room.
Yeah.
Like we made a very definitive change in our business.
Yeah.
And it was because I couldn't get the website address of elbowroom.com.
Oh,
yeah.
gotcha.
So I could get someelbowroom.com.
Okay.
And then later when we got a little bit more balanced on our legs and ready to go and like launch a new brand, that's when we switched over to Elbow Room.
And the brand is strong. Like I was telling Erin, like Amy, I like your logo, the website. It's strong, very strong branding. But I tell me from getting the shed built in your backyard to going, how do I make this a business? That's a big transition.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were envious of Erin's little extra structure that she had in the backyard. So a lot of people are like, oh man, I'd love that. Oh, I need a home office. I need a gym. And that, this was when everything was closed.
Yeah.
So you just pivoted right then and there. So I think that was in March.
Of 2020?
Yeah. And so by August, you had started selling.
Yeah. And the way that we did it to make ourselves look a little more established, this is just a little trade secret, is that we were flippers before. So we would take the house and we just completely renovate it. So that's what we did with the original Elbow Room. We completely changed all the siding off. Then we repaint the inside. We put up a new feature wall. We put down a different kind of floor. I put in different staging stuff. So I did one like a classroom, one like an office, one like a gym. And I got real creative with it too. Like
This was all pictures for the website.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I ordered all this cool European wooden gym equipment that's super cool. And I mean, I don't even know if people realize that it was gym stuff because people don't use like exercise wall ladders.
Right. Right.
But they make great
cool.
for vertical space. Yeah. And I had a good time with it.
Yeah. So you start this idea of like, okay, people loved what you had, and you're like, I'm going to turn it into a business. Now, obviously, when I started Luxury Home Magazine and I started talking with agents, and when I very first started, I was trying to create a desire for something that nobody at that time was really doing.
Right.
Right? Now, you're kind of coming in this space when there's almost like a desire for people to have some kind of extra space.
Yeah, for sure.
So talk about that very first client that was like, I want one.
Oh, geez.
Talk about that first client.
Well, there were a couple first clients that happened all kind of at once. And I won't say his last name, but our first client's name was Mark.
Yeah.
And he was wonderful. And we didn't finish out his. We just kind of took what we could get. And so it wasn't finished out. I would love to go back and finish out Mark's elbow room in the back. And it was the same kind of thing. We just built it really slowly with a little crew kind of on our own. And it turned out beautiful. I think I still have pictures of it online somewhere. They're floating around. I hand stained it myself. Like I was done. Like we don't stain things now. Not really.
Not really.
But I did it myself out with the little rag and all that stuff.
Wow.
One of the ones that we'd flipped, and the original elbow room, I flipped it one time to have like the original one. I did all the hand staining. I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, you should be. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
It's just figuring it out.
That's a lot of work. Okay, so first, as you're getting this thing going, tell me, what are you hearing from clients that when you sit down to sell, what do you hear? Like, what are they saying they need the most? Is it workout rooms? Is it a pool? Is it a casita? What are you hearing most?
Right now, it's all about granny pods. But when we first started, people just wanted their own little private space. So our second customer, Paul, he lived out in Bulverde, I think. And the pictures that I have from that one is amazing because we could take them from behind the elbow room. And they had this incredible view of the hill country. It was just amazing. Wow. And they had this whole big setup at their house and, hot tub and big deck. But he wanted his own little space to do ceramics. Yeah. And so we put in like a 250 volt thing, all this stuff. And he didn't actually end up doing the pottery in there. What he did was he became a ring producer. He produced rings out of special wood.
Oh,
and
wow.
he actually designed one for me. I went back and he made it for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
And he put a piece of copper from the build embedded into the wood. I mean, he did some really neat stuff.
That was really cool, yeah.
Yeah. So we have a little video of him lurking out on the web somewhere.
That's really cool. So really, I guess this flex space is really whatever the client needs. It's literally whatever they could dream up, they can use it for.
That's right. It's like one of our customers right now is doing a pool house, and a lot of people want to kind of use them for two different things: a pool house and an Airbnb. They want to have a guest house and some place for their mom to come, watch the kids.
Yeah.
Because they just need to get the kids out of the house.
Yeah.
I tell this one over and over and over again about the lady who called me and wanted to have an elbow room so her husband could have Dungeons and Dragons meetings. I was like, you are amazing.
That's so awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, I know.
So he has his own Dungeons and Dragons layer.
It's not something that ever happened. She still follows us on Instagram. Yeah. I'll see her you kind of figure out who's really following you.
Yeah, for sure.
And she's one of the ones that pops up all the time. And I'm like, I know you. We talked on the phone. It didn't work out. It hasn't worked out yet.
Not yet.
I really, really, really want to do that Dungeons and Dragons,
If you can make one look like a castle. I mean, come on.
Oh, I mean, anything can be done. Anything can be done.
That would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, so tell me, what would you say you learned in the beginning? Like, what were some of the big, like, holy crap, like we should have known that?
I think I can speak to that because that's when I joined.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So Erin's holy crap moment is that she's a yes person. Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I'm a yes
and
person.
I love it. I love it about her. She's the person in the room you want to be her friend. You see her and you're like, that girl.
Yeah.
That girl's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So I joined in early 2021.
Yeah.
Okay.
When Erin was preparing for the Home and Garden Show.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So
yes. Tell that story.
She was going to do, you guys had been building some elbow rooms. It was going pretty well. Your branding was like starting to really get on point.
Yeah.
And you had this concept where you wanted to have them like be very rapidly built, like interlocking pieces, which is what we know now is like SIPs.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And you were working with some local people to kind of get these built really quickly.
Modular construction.
Yes.
We've moved away from that now, but that's kind of what.
But it's still, it's a cool concept. Yeah. And you were going to build one on site in the Alamo Dome in like under 5 days. So that was really cool. And these
challenge accepted.
And these guys were like ready too. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. I can't believe you can do all this. And so I kind of start nosing in her business and looking at things. And this is where I'm very practical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So by trade, I was an ICU nurse for kids.
Ah, okay.
Very type A. So I'm like, oh, wow, how are you going to do that? And she's telling me more about it. And then she gets very excited because you got a phone call and they offered you more space at the home show.
I was like, yes, let's do it. More space. Yes.
Make it bigger.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. So she's like, we're going to do 2.
Oh, my God.
Okay. It gets worse.
You didn't tell me that. You didn't tell me you did too.
Oh, it's worse.
Oh my gosh.
So then it's the week of, and they say, do you want another 20 feet?
No.
And she's like,
No, Erin, no.
Yes.
hell yeah.
I do.
Hell yeah. And I mean, I'm not officially working for her yet. I'm just like, I'm kind of nibbling on it.
Yeah.
Looking at it, seeing what I could do. And I keep telling her, you're gonna have to hire me, because I just really wanted to work with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so she's like, I think we could do a third. And I'm like, what? How are you going to do a third? And she's like, well, we've got one on a trailer. We could bring it in and we'll renovate it. And I'm like, I think you shouldn't do that.
Getting a little anxious
You're
now.
blending 2 years together. I think you're blending year 1 and year 2 together.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because the first year we built them inside the Alamo Dome.
That's
the
my
second
year.
year is when we built it in on the trailer. Oh, you mean bring the pieces in on the trailer?
No,
Yeah.
I am correct. I'm talking about the one that eventually went to the hairdresser.
Oh,
You
okay.
were going to bring that one in on a trailer.
Oh, yeah.
See? She
Okay.
doesn't even remember, because
She's yes.
you have to block some of that out.
Yeah.
It's like so bad.
Compartmentalized.
And it was, that one
I'm
was
the same
super
way.
cute. And you were like, I think if we could bring that in and renovate that little one, we could have 3 in. And I was like, I think that's too much. And then Pat, your husband, said, no, just no. Like there was no conversation. It was just no.
Yeah.
So we're still doing 2. And I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know how many
There's so
people
much
worked on it.
drama
20,
in this story.
30 people working on this at different times. I mean, and I went from being a stay-at-home mom for quite a while to being in the Alamo Dome that entire week around the clock. I mean, it was to the point where we were gift carding the Alamo Dome people stuff so that they would let us stay.
Just stay overnight to finish.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Wow.
because we're still painting. I mean, it was nuts.
Yeah.
And so, so you did do 2, and we have a friend that has a design company, and she, instead of doing a third, we kind of set up some patio display, and she got somebody to bring in turf. Mm-hmm. And I think if we had been selling turf that year,
You'd have been millionaires.
oh, for sure. Everybody was like, oh, where'd you guys get this
Because it was
turf?
a lot. It was 100 feet of turf.
And we were like, who cares about the turf? There's
Did you
2
see this
giant
tiny
buildings.
hole?
I know. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. And they weren't totally done. They had like plexiglass in parts of them. Some of them didn't actually have a window. I mean,
We
it
could
was
feel
just
the judgment from some of the hardcore construction guys that came
some
through.
weren't.
Yeah. But we're
Yeah.
like, now I'm looking back and I'm like, come on, come look at an elbow room now.
But
You're gonna
I
love
mean,
it.
we always said these were just like, we wanted people to have a visual, wanted them to feel what that size was like. I mean, they were
It was a
cool.
prototype.
They were-
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
It's hard to know what a small
Yeah.
space actually feels like.
true.
Even
Until
like,
you're in it.
I wouldn't even be able to tell you how big this is.
Yeah.
How big this room is.
Maybe 400, like 20 by 20. I think it might be like 400. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about right.
400.
We can get a
something
whole
like that.
house in here, no problem.
Yeah. Which is wild to think about, right? That's
Yeah.
pretty wild to think about. So I mean, in that time for you, Erin, I remember you shared a little bit about that story, but what would you say, what did you learn from that process?
Listen to the smarter people that are around you.
Yeah.
So, bring in people that you really love and trust and that know what they're doing and talking about and hear them.
Okay.
My biggest thing is that I'm a big dreamer, I've got a whole big vision and I want to bring it into fulfillment. And then when it comes to the time to kind of wrap all the ends up, that's like not my thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like all the details and the actual work. I like the big idea and getting started and getting people excited and let's, become this elbow room.
Yeah.
And so along with that kind of energy, you need to have people put limits up for you and tell you you got to kind of know what your strengths and your weaknesses are. So that's my strength.
Yeah.
Big energy. And my weakness though that comes with that is being practical. Figuring out, is it really wise to build 3 tiny houses inside the Alamo Dome in 3 days? I don't think so. It's not a great idea.
Right.
You got to, sit down and listen to people who know you and have a good idea about how to execute things in a way that you didn't think about it.
No, I love that. So it sounds like you two want. So how soon after this did y'all finally say, okay, we're coming together to kind of like up level this? What from that point? Was it right after the Alamo show?
Yeah.
Home and Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just pretty natural. I mean, you just never shook me off. Since I don't know if you ever formally brought me on.
I did move next door to you, so
Yes.
It was just natural.
Yeah,
It was just natural.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I absolutely loved being part of it. I loved the concept. I loved the brand. I love working with my sister. So
yeah.
it was super fun.
So fast forward. So now you're through that period, and what do you wish you would have known prior to starting? Like if you would have known this prior to starting, what do you think that would be, and how would it have helped you?
I think everything that we know about construction now. I started off with, here's the concept, here's a brand that I want to build. It's completely the reverse of how you're supposed to start a business.
Yeah.
What you're supposed to start with is a really amazing product that's super high quality, and not that it wasn't then.
Yeah.
But what we have now, I would sell to my parents.
Yeah.
I would sell to, my best friend or a neighbor across the street. Like I really feel like it is, 5-star all the way. I'm just, we've totally completely nailed the process and how to build one. And putting those processes into place is a huge component of having a successful business, so that everybody knows what's going to happen each and every time. When you're a small little couple that's doing this thing together, you feel like an octopus. It's hard to know which way is up.
Yep.
So when you bring people in and you put those processes in place, the details of construction or whatever it is that your business is based on come into focus.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but high quality
Yeah.
really is what I would focus on, is just having an incredibly high quality product.
You guys have done some amazing projects. Tell me about some of the cool projects, your favorite projects, and what did they use it for?
One of my favorites is a girl named Michelle in our neighborhood. And I love hers because she took us kind of to the next level.
She did.
Yeah. And so she wanted stucco on the outside, which we hadn't done. And she wanted a very modern deck railing, very modern. She had a very specific design of how she wanted her deck to look. And hers is just super sleek. And I feel like that kind of as we built hers, we were like, we could do more of this.
Yeah.
We should keep going. And so many people respond to hers. Like a lot of people love hers, and hers is half yoga, and then it's an art studio or office.
It's an art studio.
Oh, wow.
Which I'm super jealous about.
Hers is cool.
That's what the original
she's really
elbow room
sweet.
was supposed to be. Ultimately an art studio.
Yeah.
And so she's kind of living my dream life.
Yeah, I
doing
love it.
yoga and art all day, and she's got a banging backyard. I mean, it's amazing.
It's really cool.
Pool. I mean,
I've probably seen it. Is it off of the Heights? Is it?
It's
Or no?
in Waterford.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I haven't seen it then.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's really cool. Hers is really pretty.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Okay, tell me about another one.
Okay, so we have a lady named Marguerite who built one that's a 12 by 16
Okay.
that she lives in.
Oh, get out.
So this is like my dream. I
Okay.
wanted to live in a tiny little jewel box.
Okay.
I want to be a genie in a bottle.
Yeah.
And just have everything all perfect that I love all around me all the time.
Yeah.
And just be there. And that's what Marguerite has done. She put a little kitchenette, a bathroom on one half, and then on the other half is kind of where she hangs out and watches her grandkids and sleeps. She has a great big chair bed. It looks like a chair, and then it pulls out into a twin size bed. It's really, and so she sleeps there. It's really cool. She has her own space away from her family.
Yeah.
But she can be, she is literally and that elbow room is right up against the house. It's really, really
tight.
close, and it's in a tiny little backyard, but it's amazing. And just a wonderful lady who just was very passionate about being around her grandkids.
Oh, I love
And
it.
she's really sweet.
Yeah.
I love it.
I do too.
So in terms of, I've just walked me through a process. I'm a brand new client, and I say, look, I want. My wife has a space that she wants. Because she always wanted a she shed, and we actually thought about before we did our pool. We actually thought about doing one in our backyard before we did our pool. Before we moved from Majestic Oaks. So like they come to you, they say, hey, I've got this idea. Walk me through the process.
Usually they've been on our website a little bit. They've either found us on Instagram or they've heard about it from a friend or seen us in a magazine like Luxury Home Magazine, something like that, or they've gotten a direct mail, and then they'll go find us on the web and go through all of our stuff. And generally once we talk to a customer, they really are pretty familiar with us. They've seen a podcast or a video or saw us on SA Live, something like that. And they sometimes they tell me more about myself than I really know. These customers or our customers are very well researched.
Okay.
And know what they're looking for and getting into.
Yeah.
So that first interaction really is one that we don't actually have physically. Yeah. And then the next one would be a phone call.
And then we do a site visit. So usually Pat will go out to the site, check it out, make sure it's feasible for as much as he can tell. And then if they like the process and they want to go forward, then we do a little service agreement. And it's just kind of almost like a letter of intent to both work together.
Okay.
And so then that kind of initiates a process where we get all their selections. We go through their HOA if they have one. And then we'll do the big contract together, which is, it's a lengthy 15-page something or other, very wordy contract. And then they'll do their 30% down, and that gets us going with a builder. Yep. We'll grab our builder and we'll grab the permitting. And as soon as the permit comes in, if it has to have a permit, and then we're ready to roll. Like usually within a couple of weeks, once the permit is
most of the time there is a permit, because the trend has been that people want to use them as an actual living space, not just a living room, but a living space, a place to just, cook,
to hang out,
all the things.
Right.
And once you kind of put in plumbing, you're in permitting. Bill. And that's one thing that makes Elbow Room really special is that we take care of all of that. It's included in our price. We go through, jump all the hurdles and resubmit. Hopefully we don't have to, but sometimes we have to resubmit a permit. And
depending on where you are, there's almost always some modification we have to make.
Yeah.
Especially in Austin.
So we tweak it a little bit here and there. And, but I think the really fun part is going through the selections process.
Yeah.
For me, I'm all about it. And that's why we have the trailer. So the second year that we went to the Alamo Dome, or the Home and Garden Show, we brought in a trailer that already had an elbow room on it.
Okay.
So it's like
we were not going to panic.
Yeah.
Like we did the first year.
No more plexiglass windows.
No more freaking out, right?
But here's the lesson we learned on that is even though the Alamo Dome is really, really tall, there's a tunnel you go through.
Oh my goodness. She told me that story.
Yeah, and it's something like 14 feet 4 inches or something like this. Okay. Yeah. And it's non-negotiable. It's a firm limit. Yeah. So
how flat were the tires? Were they all the way?
All the way flat.
All the way flat?
I can see every time we go back there, it doesn't matter what, we went for Elton John and I get chills. I'm like,
that's hilarious.
We're here again. I'm like not okay. If I even approach the Alamo Dome, I feel like my stress is so high. I'm not okay.
Yeah, from the first year, all I see is like gallons of spilled paint.
Oh yeah. We hid a 5-gallon drum of spilled paint behind a curtain.
Oh wow.
It was
if people knew.
Yeah. If they knew.
Yeah. We had to let it dry so we could peel it up. But the next year we came in with this trailer, which we now use as our design center.
Yes.
Where our customers can come meet us, see all the different things that they can put on it.
Yeah.
Because the process of having an elbow room, the point of an elbow room is not just that we go in and build it. We make it quick and easy and affordable with a custom feel.
So that's what everybody wants.
Yeah, it feels very personalized and customized, but we have a way of doing things. Yeah. And to make, basically to bring the cost down. Yeah. When your crew knows how to build
timeline.
It. Yeah, and your timeline. So, we've, like I said, Amy's just made us so much more efficient and getting things down.
Well, the good news is we made it in the Alamo Dome and we made it out.
Yes.
So...
And nothing was broken.
See how she keeps
there was a little bit broken.
I have video of driving it to where we have it now.
Yeah.
And it's just swaying back and forth. I'm I'm riding behind Pat, and Pat is pulling this behind our truck.
This is another ignorance is bliss thing, because I said, all right, I'm gonna drive the path that you're gonna drive, and I'm gonna check the height of every overpass. I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna double check you can go under these stoplights.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm just gonna go.
Okay. I'm just gonna trust.
But here's the thing. The funny thing is we've actually.
It was so stressful.
It was so funny that he said that too, because we had just seen a tiny home that had gone underneath an overpass
And it
had
sheared the roof off.
It sheared the roof off. We were like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
That'd
what
be a
did
bad
you
day.
do to deserve that? That's a bad
That would be a
day.
bad day.
That's
Yeah.
a very bad
Now,
day.
Amy, talk a little bit about the background with an ICU nurse and the skills and techniques that you use. Talk about how you're bringing that in from a process standpoint. Like, how did you use what you had been doing into what you do now?
I think the thing that I took away from nursing and apply are two things. The first is triage. So when it's you need multiple buildings in an Alamo Dome in 5 days, I'm like, okay, here's where we're going to start. This idea can survive. This idea cannot. And then it's just like from there, I just go through this like mental checklist, and I get little bit rowdy while being very calm. It's like very efficient. It's like, you will do Home Depot. You will build. You will find the crew.
Yeah.
Like, it's super.
She just
This
goes
is
into
it.
boss mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that, and I try to keep that girl kind of put away
Until we need her.
until we need her. And we need her less and less, which has really been a blessing, because like we've had a lot less crises as time went on.
Well, people don't realize how much goes into construction.
Right.
There's just so many little steps all
we've,
along the
we've
way.
literally lost 2 builders. Like, they've passed away.
Oh my gosh.
That
Yeah.
it was terribly upsetting. It was a terrible loss. It was terrible for the crews.
Yeah.
And some families are really understanding, and some families are like, okay, but I need this construction out of my backyard, which, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So, those have been like really hard times.
Yeah.
So, because you want to put the right builder in their backyard.
Yes.
You
for
don't
sure.
want to, you can't just grab anybody.
Yeah.
So, and you have to find that person who's willing to pick up where someone else left off. So those have been really difficult times.
Yeah.
And unexpected in every way.
And emotional, because we feel
Yeah.
very attached to the people that we work with.
Right.
and that are our builders. And we feel like we do a very good job of vetting them. So when things like
It's a loss in
that
every
happen-
way.
Yes, it's a loss in every way. So, but we still need to deliver.
Yeah. You still have a product that people want.
Yeah. Still
Yeah.
have what we're promising, which is an amazing structure that they're going to love forever.
And the second thing I took away is, as a nurse, you give a report twice a day at least. So this is where I kind of like, this is kind of how we run our weekly meetings. It's like, give me the report. What do I need to know? Tell it to me quickly. Everybody needs to have these facts. And we have to have these same facts all day long.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
That's kind of where I come from,
That's really good, though.
nursing.
And bridging those two. And what did you do before? You were doing the flipping, right?
Well, I've had so many jobs.
Yeah.
I've worked for General Mills, Nestle Purina,
On the
US
sales
Food
side,
Service.
what did you do? Or
I did
branding?
a lot of sales.
Sales, okay.
Sales.
Yeah.
Erin has
And-
a business degree from UT.
Yeah.
So she first did that.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So, and I love sales. I'm all about it. I find it very exciting.
Yeah.
I like that customer engagement and all that. But my husband's the one who really has a gift for it. And the other thing that I did was teaching. I'd work a little bit, and then I'd move, and then I'd teach, and I'd do that for a little while, and then I'd move again and go back. That's how I had all these little different spaces that I lived in, from kind of
Got
jumping
it.
around from one place to the other.
Yeah.
This is finally something that really got my attention.
That's cool.
But I did teach for 12 years.
You like elementary or what?
Yeah.
What grade level?
Second, third, fourth, fifth, and then I did 2 years of each of those, and then 4 years in pre-K, which was my favorite. Like if I see a 4-year-old, I'm like, oh my god, I love you. I miss you.
Yeah. I don't think you know, but I was a teacher.
Were you really?
I was a teacher. I taught third, fourth, and fifth, and I did 1 year, 6th grade.
Wow.
For 11 years.
What was your district?
Northeast. I was at Northeast.
When was that?
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so I graduated in 99 from UTSA. And then I got my first teaching job in 99. So I got married in 99, and then I got my job in December of 99. So it was mid-year I got my first job because I graduated in December. And so I started that 2000 year, I was a third grade. They called me a team teacher.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So they paired me with another teacher, and I was her, assistant teacher throughout the whole year. Never forget Vanessa Morelli. If you're listening to this podcast, thank you. Vanessa was amazing. I mean, she taught me so much about how to teach kids. I was at Camelot Elementary.
Oh, were you really?
Yep. That's Hardy Oak's sister. Yeah.
Yep.
I was at CERNA my last 4 years.
CERNA? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I love the house system at Camelot. That is the funnest thing.
The what? Which one?
They have that whole that house system.
It must be new. How long have they had it?
I don't know. But it's a little bit like Harry Potter, where
Yeah.
like they have these four houses and like
That's new.
it's cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
There's always some cool teacher that has an awesome idea and they figure out how to do it and get everybody on board. I'm like, oh, I love those people.
Yeah, when I was there, I went to fifth grade was kind of my final landing spot. I was out in the portables, and we would do, this was back, so this would have had to have been 2005, 6. I did a yearbook video
Oh, wow.
on VHS.
Now you're talking. We're speaking the same language.
Come on. So I did, maybe it was even sooner. It was maybe 2003. I still have kids that will call me and ask me, do you have a tape? I don't have the tape. I don't know where it is. I have no idea. But there are other kids that have it. And then we graduated to DVD later. I think in like 2006 or 7, I think we finally got DVD because I had an Apple computer that could burn DVDs. But before that, it was on VHS. And I actually ran into the NEISD, the guy at the campus who trained me on how to do dubs of duplicates of one VHS. So you'd stick the one VHS in. I don't know if you know how you would have to record back then, but you'd have to put all your tapes in and then hit record and then wait.
Oh, I mean, that's too complicated for me. I remember all that. You'd have the one and then the next. And
No.
that was a
I mean,
lot.
I could do 10 at a time. And
That's crazy.
Northeast had a little thing where you could do 10 at a time. And we sold 100. We made $1,000. I sold from $10, and all the money went to the school. They used it for
awesome.
whatever. But I loved teaching. I absolutely loved it. It was so much fun.
Teachers get it done.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
very
Doers.
mixed feelings about teaching,
Yeah.
but the one thing I really did love was the kids.
Oh, yeah.
And from my first year of teaching, I kept a couple of things. I kept my best friend that I team taught with.
yeah.
The one that went to Oprah.
Yeah, I went to Oprah. And I picked up another best friend later at another school. She
Yeah.
also went to Oprah.
Yeah.
But, we've hung out. So,
Yeah.
and then I still keep up with some of my students.
Yes.
Especially from that first year.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're all adults and having kids now. I'm like, gosh darn, I'm old. I am really old. I'm going to sell one of them an elbow room one of these days.
Oh, yeah. They're going to buy one. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what is the best way for people to reach out to you guys? How can they reach out to you?
If they really want to fast track it, they'd call 210-854-4023 and ask for Pat.
Okay.
And that's really the fastest way to talk to one of us.
Okay.
And then the other way is to explore our website at elbowroom.com. We'd like to keep that real simple. elbowroom.com.
It's so good. And I don't, we were going to have him pull it up here, but we won't do that. But I want to make sure that people see it. So we're going to, it's powerful. I think what you guys did with the website is amazing.
Thank you.
And I would imagine your retention has to be super high on your website. Have you ever timed like your average visit?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's got to be high.
It is pretty high. I mean, I don't know what is super high, but I mean, 4 or 5 minutes up to 20.
Which is
It's
insane.
pretty, I mean, that's pretty.
It's fun to play on.
Yeah.
Even
is.
my kids will sometimes, like my littlest one will say, can I go on there and make a house?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because we have the configurator on there as
Yep.
well. So which is tech speak for a program where you can
Build out your little house.
build your little
Change your
house,
size.
change it all out. We have other other models that we offer other than the one that's on the configurator, but people keep going back to the Linda. Oh, that's how we got our. That's how.
You gotta say yes.
We didn't even say that part. Yeah.
Say it. Say that story. That's a good story.
I forgot about that. So Linda, we name all of our buildings or each one of the models.
The plans. Yeah. Yep.
So the original plan is named after Linda. She's one of our very first customers, like probably first 5 or so. And she was a very demanding customer. She like knew exactly what she wanted, and she had impeccable taste.
She did.
And I mean, it was great taste. And she came up with this idea for these little
like
columns.
a slatted corners. Like we've learned it's called cladding. And that was her look. That's what she wanted. And she wanted a very
on the outside or the inside?
On the outside. These two
okay.
corners that had this like 1-inch cladding, and it looks super good.
Yeah. And we learned a lot from Linda too, because so much of it is about really knowing and understanding your customer and meeting and having expectations for them and them for us.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, that mutual relationship that you build.
Then you came out with a second model, and we didn't know what to name it. And we were playing around with all these names, and I was like, well, it should go with Linda. It should go with Linda. And then I said, wasn't that Wonder Woman's name was Linda? And you were like, yeah, Linda Carter. And I was like, boom, Carter.
Yeah.
And so that's our little little nod to Wonder Woman.
I love it.
And then we have the Jane, which originally was named for our mother. It's her middle name. And my niece's middle name. But we were like, we need one that's kind of like a shout out to the city of Austin.
Okay.
Let's do one, like this pod look.
Pods are very popular in Austin.
Yeah.
Very popular in Austin. So we're like, let's do the Austin.
The Austin.
But we decided to change it like Jane Austen. So we changed the I to an E because she's like the ultimate, feminist.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. So they can go to elbowroom.com.
Yes.
They can go there, and they can, like I said, like you were just talking about, they can completely configure, pick a plan, and then configure. I mean, you could change lighting. You could change everything with it.
And the other way that's really great to kind of just if you want to get to know who our company is and see what it is that we do from a day-to-day basis would be Instagram.
You guys have a good Instagram.
Facebook. But like our Instagram, it has so many little video clips and people talking, and probably like this little clips of this podcast will show up on there.
No, for sure.
It's a great way to get to know the brand.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I love that. Now, in terms of like, growing as a company, are there anything that you've read that you were like, oh my gosh, if you're a business owner, you got to read this book. This really helped us. Like, what have you done to up-level each other as an organization?
Ooh, that's a good question. You go.
Okay, well, I think the thing that I really want to do is I have loved Erin and I being in a company that runs construction. Now, Erin and I aren't usually the ones out there building, although we go out, we check things out, we do little things on them all the time. But I have loved that we're two women who are running this construction company and designing it. And the more I say that, the more it comes to me in different, like I was listening to another podcast, Jen Hatmaker, and she had on this woman who's running a nonprofit for young girls, and she's teaching them how to do construction. But I mean, this is more like, hey, you want to weld? Yeah. You want to, they're not just doing birdhouses. I mean, they're like big projects, and these girls are so capable. And there's all these, interesting things as you think about what happens when women enter in architecture, in design, in engineering, in construction, and they bring a completely different side of it that you just haven't seen enough of. And for me, that's what there's a little place in Bernie. It's not Girls Garage. Girls with Grit, maybe.
Girls with Grit.
And I want to get involved with them too, because again, they offer these camps. They even teach adult women, like, hey, you want to change out your engine on your car? Let's do that. I mean, they do everything. And I just feel like that, for me, that's kind of the way that I want to round us out, is like I want to find that woman general contractor that's running things. And I think about this on a daily basis in my laundry room, because the way you open my dryer, it's like a magnet for someone wanting to enter my home through my garage. And these,
And it just hits.
I mean, and I'm just like, God, whoever designed this didn't think about this. And then my microwave is like above my double oven, and I can't ever see in it.
Yeah.
And I'm average height, so I'm just like, man, who designed this?
Yeah.
And there's just some things that like lack a woman's touch, and so so I want to see us keep going bigger and bigger into, bringing more faces into construction.
I love it.
Yeah. And I just read, or I started to read a book about Southwest Airlines and their company culture.
Okay.
I'm all about the company culture and having, a very positive attitude and, visualize what it is where you want to go and how to put action behind it so that you actually get there. And I think I'm just starting to dive into this book a little bit. I think I can't remember the name of it. It's like Go Fish or something.
This is so typical for you and me. Like, we have all these great quotes and things, and then we're both like, I have no idea where I read that.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Heard it on
I don't
some
know.
podcast or saw it on Barnes and Noble.
I love it. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
I think personal growth, like a retreat, like an Oprah retreat. Like when you told me that, I literally thought about my wife. I was telling her, my wife had every Oprah magazine, and when I say everyone, we had them all in bins, perfectly curated, perfectly protected.
It's awesome.
But after like a second move, I was like, you have to get rid of them. Like Marie Kondo, if it sparks joy, right?
I bet
it
it sparked joy, though.
They were not sparking joy anymore. You know how heavy that box was of those magazines?
Yeah, but you went from like all the amazing design and like the high end and luxury that Oprah kind of taps into.
Yeah.
And now you have Luxury Home Magazine.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
she kept all these magazines, right?
Yeah.
Like, how cool was that?
Yeah.
know,
I mean,
like-
I think we had them all the way up into the house that we moved in the Heights. I think that's when we had to get rid of them.
I mean, you kind of wonder, like, where did
Yeah.
she come up with this idea that we should have a magazine?
I
Probably
think
because she
Oprah had
had
something
like
to do with it.
every single one of Oprah's magazines.
I do. I
That's
really
kinda
do.
cool.
I think that had something to do with it. I'm a big believer in personal growth and reading and getting business owners not just to read, but to read with just like, okay, how could we grow in this area, and then find a book that could help you. You know what I mean? How could we grow in that area, and then find a book or podcasts like you're talking about, right? Like what podcasts,
How I Built This. Ooh, here I come. I want to be on that so bad.
Which one?
How I Built This with
Oh,
Guy
how
Raz.
I built this. Yes.
Or talk about having big dreams, and you got to have a way to measure them, and it can't always be about numbers.
Yes.
You're looking at me like, please, why did you say that?
That's
But,
a good
No,
one.
I'm not. No, I'm just like, you and I could talk podcasts for like days.
Oh, yeah. We're
Yeah.
both really big into podcasts.
What's your favorite?
The
What
Jonathan, the I'm talking about the guy Jonathan, and is it? Hold on, give me a second,
Yeah,
'cause
it's
I have
okay.
to think of it.
Yeah.
You love the S-Town.
I love it. Oh,
Is that local?
S-Town.
Is that sound local?
It's like
No?
one of the binge ones.
Okay.
What's his name? Brian something or another.
Yeah.
Well, see, we're
See, we're
terrible.
doing it again.
That's all right. Yeah.
We're like the non-expert experts and all that stuff. But
Oh, I do love Armchair Expert.
Armchair. Okay. Yeah.
That's Jack Shepard. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good.
what else? Oh, I'm big into Counterclock right now. Crime Junkie, Freakonomics, Hidden Brain. Like I'm
Yeah.
on all of those things all the time.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Freakonomics, that when that book came out, I was teaching, I think I was like teaching fifth graders. And I remember that book was like fascinating.
It
That's
is
a good book.
Great book.
It's wild.
Yeah, I would imagine a podcast has to be even like better. They have a podcast on that now?
Oh,
Is that a
yeah.
podcast?
There's
That's good.
hundreds of episodes.
Wow.
And it kind of reminds me of Hidden Brain, like the hidden side of everything.
Yes.
That's kind of,
The Hidden Brain was a book, wasn't it?
I
Wasn't there
don't
a book
know.
called The Hidden Brain? Keep going. Keep
But
going.
the guy who hosted is
Yeah.
really interesting. He has a lot of cool insights.
Yeah.
I love business podcasts.
I
though.
listen to This American Life
Oh, yeah,
all the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
I think I'm like 400 episodes in.
They have 400
Oh
episodes?
no, they've had like 700 or 800. He's been around since 2000 doing it.
I did
It's
not
so good,
realize
yeah.
that. That's really, really cool. That's really cool. Now, obviously, as women owners, I'm, again, super pumped. What would you say is your superpowers? You know what I mean? That the superpower that you bring to the table, because look, I'm married. I've been married 23 years. My wife is a superhero, okay? She's got superpowers, right? She's got the power of vision, the power of that internal gut feeling like you can't work with that person. You know what I mean? Like she's got those superpowers. What are your superpowers?
I always tell Erin, it's probably like my best and worst quality is like I'm always going to have an opinion.
Yes.
It's just I'm always willing to change it. So I think like
that's a superpower.
That's kind of, it's gone along with Elbow Room really well. And when we got our like phrases of thinking of Elbow Room as a flexible living space, I'm like, that's our company. We're flexible. And like that's kind of what we've done is like we just continue to pivot to whatever the calls are that we're getting of like, we really got to transition to more, full-time living ones, because we have so many grandparents that want to live in them. And I think that's kind of my thing is like, I feel strongly, but I'm getting better at changing.
Changeable.
Yeah.
I think my superpower is running a business with my sister while living next door. I think that, it takes a special person to be that enmeshed and embedded with another. And we do so much together. And I think it really energizes our business and takes it to another level. People really like hearing our story. But there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes, hours and hours of conversation, lots and lots of throwing around ideas, figuring out how to solve problems together. All the little things when we were little girls and growing up in San Antonio and playing in the creeks and behind Mustang Circle and in Hollywood Park, like, all those little things that we worked out when we were kids. Because I was not
laid
always
a foundation.
Yeah, they did. I was not always the greatest big sister. I'm like, I pushed her around a little bit. It's, you figure out how to work through conflict. And I would say that would be my superpower is being able to work through conflict.
I love that.
Like whether it's with, whatever the problem is, kind of looking at it from a bunch of different ways and figure it out.
We'll figure it out. I love it. Did you ever think, if you were to go back to your college self, that you would be living next door to your sister, working and building a company together like Elbow Room?
No.
Isn't that cool?
It's really cool.
That's really cool. Because how many people can say that they have been able to build something and then have their family along with them along the journey to build it together?
We hear that kind of thing a lot. Like, man, I can't believe you do that. And sometimes we're like, man, I can't believe we get to do this.
Yes.
And I think you just have to work really hard to make that happen. It just...
Yeah, you have to.
It was like a lot of like really wanting that to be. So, yeah, I think we're lucky that it worked out, but also we both really wanted it. So we just keep.
Yeah, well, and we work on it all the time.
All the time.
All of the time.
Yeah. And you have to, right? It's not going to be just, it's going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. I tell it to my son all the time. It's like, look, we don't expect perfection.
Right.
Because I can't be perfect. You can't be perfect, right? But the good thing is that the fact that you're at this point, you've got this company, you're working together, and you're figuring out each and every day of how to work together as family. I love it. I think it's a great story, and I see amazing things to come as you guys get to continue to work together.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the journey.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We're thrilled to be doing it.
Yeah. We're working together in 5 different capacities.
Okay, yeah, it's young.
Yeah, we're sisters. That's one capacity. Yeah. Best friends. That's another. Neighbors.
Yeah.
That's another. We run a business together.
Yeah.
And then also
parenting.
We're godchildren or godparents. The parenting.
Oh, wow.
We parent together.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot.
That's a lot of different ways to interact with like another person. So
yes.
It's really cool.
But it's
really
beautiful
fun.
at the same time
because
really
awesome.
I guarantee you everybody if they, if they really sat down and thought about it, would want to have the connection, regardless of, I don't, my brother drives me crazy, or my sister. My sister is crazy. Keisha, you're crazy, all right? But I would love to have my sister around more and be around with what we're doing. Everybody would love that.
Yeah, I think that's the whole concept of elbow room.
Yeah.
Is that you just really do have what you love around you. Like you are really completely enveloped in love. And I think that's kind of what we've tried to do as sisters, by living so close to each other and being so involved in each other's lives, but is to bring that to a reality for other people.
And on that will be a massive micro content right there. That was awesome. Erin and Amy, thank you so much for being on TM3 Podcast. I really appreciate your time, and I can't wait for this to air.
Thank you so much for having us. It's super fun.
This is really fun.
Awesome. You guys have a great day.
Thank you too.